Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how we take our simple program here that draws a face, and we're going to turn it into a function that we can use to make multiple faces that are a little bit different from each other. So the first thing that we need to do is make a function. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to call it makeRobot, and the function name is followed by an open close parentheses, which is where we're going to create our variables that we're going to use in our function, and then an open and close curly brace. So what I can do is actually just cut this code right here and put it into our function. Now, if I run this, nothing's going to happen because we need to actually call our function or run it, and we're going to do that by just naming it, makeRobot. So this is the declaration of the function, saying function, and then this is what it's called, and this is what it does, and then this is calling the function in draw, so that every time draw runs, it runs this makeRobot function, which then runs this code. Excuse me. Okay. So then what I need to do is I need to come up with some variables here that I'm going to use to draw the face, and I'm going to pass numbers to it when I call the function. So I'm going to go ahead and just make all of the variables that I think I want to use. And I'm going to call them robot x, which is going to be the x value of where to make the robot y, which is going to be the y robot value. And then I'm going to make some colors, which are just going to be numbers. And I'm going to call those robot face, robot eyes, and robot mouth. So those are each going to be like a different number that I can use as a gray value. Okay. And I'm going to take this kind of right here as my starting x value for all of the rectangles in this function, right? So I can take that 100 and I can actually kind of put it up here. And then this is going to become robot x. So essentially, we're doing the same thing. We're using, when we make this function, we're saying, I'm going to take all of these possible variables. The first one is robot x. So if I just get one number, like 100, it's going to use that as robot x. And then when I run this function, I'm going to use that variable right here. So robot x here is going to have the value of 100. To make sure I have all of these, I need to make all of these x values in terms of robot x. So we take that number 100, 120 minus 100 is 20. So I can say that this is robot x plus 20. This is robot x plus 60. And this is robot x plus 30. So again, I'm going to play this, and I hopefully will just see the same thing. I'm not changing the numbers of what I'm using to draw the face. I'm just changing how I'm writing it, because that's going to make it easier to draw multiple robots. So then I do the same thing for robot y. What's the first y value? It's 0. So I'm going to say this is 0, and I'm going to replace this 0 with robot y. Again, I'm going to play it, and I keep playing it so that I can just make sure that I haven't broken anything else accidentally. So I've got that y value now. So I have robot x, robot y. So I'm going to write all of these y values in terms of robot y. So that's going to be robot y plus 20, robot y plus 20, and robot y plus 60. So there we go. Okay, so now let's think about these variables: robot face, robot eyes, robot mouth. I'm going to make a fill statement here, and I want this to be a number, and I'm going to say that the number I'm going to use for robot face in this case is going to be 50. And I'm going to say that I'm going to use this variable robot face here for the fill, and that number is going to be 50. Great, so now I've got a really dark color. For robot eyes, I'm going to use the number 100. These two are so that's this one here. It's the next two are going to be the eyes. So I'm going to do another fill statement, and those are going to be robot eyes, like that. And now I want the mouth to be a different color, and that number is going to be 150. And so I know that this rectangle right here is the big square. These two rectangles are the eyes. This last rectangle is the mouth. So I'm going to make that fill color robot mouth. And there we go. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variables that I'm creating in this function and using. That means I really should be passing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers when I do the make robot function. Now that I've gone ahead and done all of this work, I can actually just run the function again, and this time just use some different numbers. So maybe I will use 150 as the x value, 200 as the y value to make it appear much lower, and I'm just going to reverse the order of these color values. Let's make this kind of look a little similar here. And if I play this, it should make another face at a different spot. And then I can do that as many times as I want. I can keep making robots with different numbers, right? So I make this 250, 50, and then make a really light 200, 150. So then I've got another face over here. So I could make as many robots as I want like this. I can even kind of use a for loop and make a whole bunch of robots at one time if I want. So what you are to do is basically follow my steps and do exactly what I just did. So you've gone through the process of making a function that has variables that we can pass values to and control where and how this function makes robot faces.